Hey y'all, it's Stacy. We thought that we would give you a little tour of the test kitchen, the fun space that I get to work in every day. So come on. So when we were designing our house, we started talking about the possibility of including another building to work in. You know, I had leased some space that was my test kitchen at that point. And the more that we were thinking about having lots of property or lots of space here that we could do that, it just made sense to, put it toward building a building rather than having to pay rent every month. So we had an architect design this for us to match our house. And like I said, it's just a really cool, fun place to get to work every day. And one of the things that you have to notice is my signature phrase, "Hey y'all," is right there on the mat. And that's how we have to start every single day, with a little "Hey y'all." So as you come in, this main room, on the first floor of the building, is the kitchen. It's the space where we shoot all of the video. It's the space where I work. So it really serves a dual purpose because it looks pretty, but it also is very functional for us too. Those of you who were with me and followed along as we built the house, you might recognize color. Our readers participate and actually got to pick the color that we used here on our cabinetry. I think at that point we had it narrowed down to like this blue or like a green color. This is a beautiful color from Sherwin-Williams. It's called Restorative, and it's probably one of my most favorite things here in the kitchen. Counter space was a big deal, obviously. You know, when I'm in here and I'm testing recipes, I, believe it or not, can ensure that I cover every single thing in here. So we wanted to have lots of counter space. From the beginning, we knew that we wanted light colored countertops just because they look nice, but also in terms of function, because a light color is going to reflect light. And so we went with the white here on the island. This is a quartz. But when we were picking this quartz out, I happened to notice this particular granite, and I just threw the idea out there. I was like, what if we did two different countertops in the test kitchen? And this has a really cool texture, kind of looks like soapstone, but it's pretty durable. This is actually a granite. I wish I could remember the name, but it's very functional and it just looks nice. It gives the room some texture. Aside of that, the wall color, probably one of our favorite things that we picked. We actually used this wall color. It's called Mindful Gray. We used that pretty much everywhere in the test kitchen as well in the main house. Our house before was very much in warm tones, lots of tans and burgundies, and we wanted something a little different for this house. But the thing that we like about this particular color is depending on the light, it sometimes leans a little more tan or leans a little more gray. In fact, in our main living room, certain times of the day, all the walls are painted the same color, but they look a different color based on the light that's shining in. So it's just a really cool little thing that we did. When it came time to pick appliances for the test kitchen, I went to my friends at All South Appliance and said, look, I need something that's durable, that's affordable, and it's going to look really nice. So for our double oven here, we went with KitchenAid, just a beautiful, durable appliance. It's worked really well for us. Of course, got the beautiful gas cooktop here. This is also KitchenAid. This is a fun little thing. Heather and I were in an antique store one time. This is an antique painter's carrying crate. Keep all my oils and salts and things like that there. It's just super easy to grab when it's right there. And then when we need to get it out of the way, say we're shooting a video, we just pick it up and carry it out of the way. It looks kind of cool too. We did change things up a little bit with the refrigerator. We went with a Bosch refrigerator, partly because we were doing all this during COVID and we couldn't get everything that we really wanted, but that matched really well and it's super functional for me too. It's nice having a big, large fridge, but let me tell you, I fill it up every single time. So reluctantly, I'm going to show you the inside of my fridge. There's nothing special here, but I love the big wide double doors. Just standard stuff, although I do seem to have an odd collection of pie crusts, a few chunks of hoop cheese, and quite a bit of butter. I mean, if you know me, you got to have butter. We actually just finished shooting with the folks from Simply Southern TV, and so some of this is left over from that. But yeah, the inside of my fridge, I know you're shocked, right? So if you've been following me for any period of time, you've probably seen this "Eat" sign before. Heather and I found that in an antique store, and they're actually letters that came off of a hotel in New Orleans. And we just thought, we love New Orleans. It's a great food town. And we found those and we thought it was just a really cool thing to incorporate into our kitchen. So another cool thing is these wooden boxes. You know, it doesn't get much more Southern than pimento cheese. And that's what this larger box is that it's Kraft pimento processed cheese. And then, of course, who doesn't love Velveeta, right? There's a Velveeta box there, too. So just cool little things. So one of the other things that we do here on the main floor of the test kitchen is all the photography. When we started designing the building, it was super important to me that I had tons of natural light. I like to use natural light. I just feel like food looks better in natural light, and partly because I don't know tons about artificial light and I'm just not willing to learn. So we actually laid out the property with these huge windows facing north because that north light is really good for this. And so you can see that I'm actually in the process of working on one of the recipes right now. This is the green goddess dressing that's going to show up on the blog soon. So you can kind of see my setup here. I had taught myself digital photography. I took a black and white photography class in college. And so that was my experience before then. The fundamentals are basically the same, but there is a little bit of a learning curve. And I photographed people for a little while, and then I realized that I liked things that didn't move. And food doesn't normally move, at least when you've done it right. So it's a whole lot easier to do that. So this is kind of my setup there. Here I've got tons of different boards and backgrounds. It's funny, I almost always choose this board. It's kind of become part of the brand, part of the style that I have. But we've got tons of great colors, and you can just kind of see what this process looks like. So one of the cool things that is actually one of my favorite things about the kitchen that you guys probably never get to see is a very small part of my collection of cookbooks. We wanted bookcases all on the front of this, and Heather set and organized all of them by color. And you don't get to see it on camera very often, and usually the bar stools cover it up. But it's just a neat little thing that we incorporated that's kind of makes the space fun and colorful. All right, so let me show you the rest of the kitchen. So right here, as you come through this doorway, we've got a little butler's pantry area. Nobody really wants a microwave sitting on the counter, especially when we're shooting video and photos and stuff in there. So we designed a space specifically for that microwave to go. We've got a little coffee bar too. And this is probably what a lot of people have most interest in, the prop area. It's not as cool and flashy, I guess, as some people might think, but it's very functional. I keep using that word over and over again. We've got all of our plates sorted by color, all my whites and everything, all my linens over here. Everybody's like, well, don't you want really nice pressed linens? I absolutely don't. If you've seen any of the photos, I love where it's just kind of thrown on there. It's good if it has wrinkles. That's real life. So I'm not one of those people that has them nicely folded or hung up correctly. They're just kind of wadded in the bins by color, and that works really well for me. Pantry area, there's nothing special here. I will say it's super handy having access to two pantries. So if I forget that I have something in the main house, or it's over here and not over there, I do frequently run back and forth. I guess that's, one of the benefits of having two kitchens here to pull from. So the space is a little over 1,000 square feet. Upstairs is really just my office. I'd love to show it to you, but it's a terrible mess, and it's also just kind of boring. But here it is, the test kitchen. This is the cool, fun place that I get to work to every day, and you get to see the other side of when you normally just see it on camera. You can see the rest of it this way.